What's happening? What's up? I'm Oman. Welcome to the channel. Before we get started, let's go ahead and get these pleasantries out of the way. If you like the content, even if you don't necessarily agree with me on this particular take, let's hit that subscribe button. Let's like it and go ahead and share it for me, please. Now, we see the topic of discussion in the thumbnail. What we're going to talk a little bit about today is teaching your partner how to love you properly. Now, many of us, we've had the opportunity to either hire a new employee or we had an opportunity to train a coworker for a new position. And if you're like me, you can speak on how frustrating it can be to try to teach a person a new system, make sure they understand, the values and the culture of the company. And oftentimes you'll look at it and you wonder, did I hire the right person? Is this the right person for the job? Because you may think they should be a little bit further along, or maybe they're not grasping it as fast as you think they should. But we find that if we do have a little patience, a little understanding, oftentimes we'll look back a few months later and you're so happy that they're there. You're so happy that they're making your life easier. And you look at your decision and you can realize I made a real good decision hiring this person. Well, with relationships, it's going to be the exact same way. When you start a relationship, you're a brand new person. You have to teach that person how to love you properly because they've never experienced you before. The way you receive love is not necessarily how they're used to giving love. So the only way that you make sure that you're loved in the way that you need is to teach that person. That's why we see so many times in a relationship, you'll see the husband is just beating his head against the wall because he don't understand what's the frustration and why she's upset. She don't have to work. I pay all the bills. I make sure I buy her nice things. What else does she want? She just want to complain now. But her love language is acts of service. What she wants is when she comes to the house that he helps out a little bit more. That he cares that she's tired and that he's picking up after himself. But usually when an argument happens, what ends up happening is in order to try to smooth things out, he'll go buy her a purse. And what once was a nice gesture, which she loved, is infuriating to her. Now she feels as if now you're trying to buy me. You're trying to buy my solace. You don't care what I feel. All you care about is buying me things. That's not what I need. And what was supposed to be an olive branch is now, man, I can't even buy her purses, man. She gonna complain about everything. And y'all growing farther and farther apart. So that's why you have to be able to one, identify what your love language is and be able to share it with your partner. And it's so important first to identify what your love language is because as a man, if you would ever ask me what my love language was, I'm always going to tell you it's going to be, as every man going to see, it's going to be physical touch. I like it. I want to touch it. And it's going to be quality time. Me and you, we're cool together. I like spending time with you. I like to travel with you. I like to see the world with you, see new experiences. Yes, I want to spend time with you. And I want to touch you in the same manner. But first, we got to break down those two things of everybody interprets physical touch in a different way. It doesn't always necessarily have to be sexual. When I say that I might like physical touch, I may realize that I want to hold hands. Or for physical touch, I may decide that, giving me a hug when you first see me is what I mean by physical touch. And same thing with quality time. Quality time could be, do we communicate throughout the day? And if you want communication throughout the day and your partner doesn't really care because I got a job to do, I don't have time for this, you can start to feel a certain way. So that's why it's so important not only to know what your love language is, but really just the breakdown of what that looks like to you and explain it. But back to me, when I said I thought mine was always quality time and physical touch, I learned more and more that I actually kind of like, sentimental gestures towards me. That you let me know that you care about me, let me know that you think about me. A lot of the things that'll be missing, if I don't feel that, I'm gonna start to feel as if you don't love me. I'm gonna start to feel as if everything else, yeah, that's just, it is what it is. That's just who you are. But you're not concentrating on me. And what happens when you start to feel unloved? You start to kind of pull back a little bit. You start to push back as far as what they're doing, and you're not appreciative of what they're really doing for you. So you have to take the time to learn your love language, first and foremost. And I'll say a good place to start. You've heard me talk about love languages a lot. Is there is a book by Gary Chapman. It's called The Five Love Languages. I'm not going to really get into all five of them, but it gives you a breakdown of how everybody receives loves according to him. So you're going to have your physical touch, which I spoke of. You're going to have your words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, and acts of service. And as you see, that's five different ways that you can receive love. So that person is coming in blind and guessing what you need. So you have to be able to identify this is how I need to be loved. But also, when you get a better understanding of those five love languages, when they're trying to love you, you can realize this is what they're trying to do. And you can appreciate a little bit more of knowing how your partner shows you love. So that's going to be the benefit of understanding the love language. But then you have to start teaching and having some understanding and patience. The understanding is going to be that this may be new to them. Showing love in this manner, I'm not used to that. So it may take me a while to get up to speed. It may take a little bit more than you think it should because your last boyfriend, that's how he showed love. And he did it so easy. Why can't you? Well, I'm used to showing love just a little bit differently. If you give me the opportunity, you teach me, then I'll be able to love you in the manner that you do need to be loved. And I can also love you in the way that I'm accustomed showing love. But those things, that's two people working together, they're getting an understanding, and they're making sure that we're not upset and frustrated about things that we can control. That we are sharing and we're talking about, hey, I feel good when you do this, or when you don't do this, I feel a little lonely, I feel sad, I feel like I want you to do a little bit more. And as the party, you have to be able to listen. You have to listen to what your partner's saying. You have to ask questions. You got to keep asking questions, keep checking in, and keep understanding. And a lot of times we feel as if with our partner, they've been with us for a while, they should know me. This is BS, how they don't know me. But one thing we learned is that love is all it can often be in the honeymoon stage for 1 2 years at a time. So what's driving this relationship is the attraction, it's the newness of it, it's the sex, it's the just you're intrigued by that person, you're intrigued by the way they think, y'all have such good chemistry. As we're in love, I expect more from you. And we've been together for a year and you don't know me yet. Don't get caught up in that web of thinking that person's supposed to know you just because of the time you've been together. They may not understand the way that you need to be loved. Maybe you haven't verbalized it. So it's your opportunity now to, I'm going to teach this person how I need to be loved. Don't say it in a harsh way. Baby, when you do this, this makes me feel a certain way. Or you can sit down and y'all can have a discussion over it. But relationships, they're so tricky nowadays that we have to start again. I always say it, use the tools that's in front of us. We now know that there's different ways that everybody they need to be loved, and everybody's going to receive love differently. Utilize that knowledge to teach your partner. Utilize that knowledge to get a stronger relationship. And after you've taught you talk to your partner, you've tried to teach them. If that's just not a love language that they're good at demonstrating, then it may be time to move on. But if you're in a relationship and there's conflict and you realize and you're thinking to yourself, everything I do for this person, they're never grateful. Take a step back and ask that partner, when I do this, does this make you feel love? Or ask them, what does it take for you to feel love? Or if you're always frustrated, take a time to tell your partner, hey, I'm frustrated because I'm not getting this. But then on the other side, when your partner does something that you enjoy, hey, babe, I really appreciate that you cleaned up around the house. That really shows me that you love me. They're going to start to realize that those type of things that's what matters to you. The gifts, you love a purse, hey, who's not going to take a good purse? But now it means so much more because you feel as if it's coming from not just I can afford to do it. It's coming from a place of I love my partner. So important, just make sure that you are being a little bit more self-aware of what love looks like to you. Again, a good starting place is going to be the book, The Five Love Languages. Look at that book, kind of understand it, drill down on it, and then share it with your partner. Make sure that they fully understand what love looks like for you. And once you explain it, You'll be amazed once your partner it really clicks on it, how your relationship is going to grow because they're showing you love the way you need it. And they have a full understanding of this is what my partner needs. And then you can appreciate it actually a little bit more because you know this is not normally how they show love. They're being intentional just for me. And a lot of times we'll realize our partners, they do love us enough that they are willing to be intentional for us, that they are willing to make adjustments for us. But now that they understand me, they're intentionally trying to clean up around the house. They're intentionally doing little sweet gestures to me. And your relationship is going to start to grow. You'll notice that closeness coming and some of that frustration, it's just going to go away. So, again, getting the pleasantries out of the way. If you like the content, even if you don't necessarily agree with me on this particular subject, let's go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's like it and go ahead and share it for me, please.